will be a description of the Quickdraw weaving program's color palette controls. The color palette is accessible from a couple of places. From the main warp weft editor for warp and weft. If I ask for more, I'll get the color palette. Otherwise, if I'm in the project setup screen and I ask for more, I get to the same color palette. The top line here shows me which colors I currently have in the palette. If I want to delete a color, I can just drag it down to the delete color. Anytime I select a color, it's automatically going to set up down here in the box. If I can drag from there to the add color, so I can add any color I want. If I want to clear the palette, it would reduce just to black and white. If I want to add a range of colors, for example, I can hit the 6 color rainbow or a 12 color full rainbow. The shrink palette actually will look through all those colors against the colors that are used in the pattern and determine that these are the only used colors, which at the moment it's a black and white pattern. If I add these guys, I can also ask for a grayscale so I can physically see. Now each color can also have a name. For example, when I hit the red here, it will tell me, it will bring up a default color. I can type in anything I want there and save that. Related to that is the purge IDs, which would eliminate the names so I can start over again. Another capability I also have, for example, here I have a Broussard color catalog that I pulled from the internet, copied that to clipboard, and when I show the image, I can now zoom in on that, scroll around, and select a range of colors, and the color down here will be extracted from that color, and it actually averages that RGB across the entire cell, so I can create my own color palette from a vendor catalog. So that's what the image does. It should be a very powerful tool. Copy, palette, blend, and merge allow me to take colors from this project, paste them into a project. So I've also, using that last tool, have created a couple of color palette samples for Broussard as well as for the Lunatic Fringe color spectrum. Now, I hadn't talked about the common colors. I've got a series of ranges. For example, I could copy all the reds in. So if I want to work in a series of reds, or I can copy individual colors, say that light green, if I add that to the color. I can select the individual RGB contents. I can also go to things like an orange. And if I say I have a red, yellow, blue control also, say for example, I want a little bit more yellow, a little bit less red, I can actually work like most of us did in kindergarten, where I can say red and yellow creates orange, or I can do it with red and a little green if you're the computer type. And associated with that is the shades of color. Whenever I pick something, it will automatically give the shades below that. Now I also have a capability in Quickdraw to link thread size and color. I can view that either as dent or as a nominal thread size. And I can say I want another thread bigger than that. Say I want to drag that one up. Or I want one smaller. Drag that to the add color. Okay, and the other thing I can also do is enable the bitmaps. The define images allow me to define a two-dimensional image of what a painted warp would be and a painted weft would be. These are a little bit hard to set up, but the videos do talk about how to do that. The other one that's fairly easy and useful is the virtual thread control. If I now go back to my drawdown, these are, both threads are drawn in orange, but I can physically see the virtual image of that thread that's drawn in there. And the Use Images button will basically turn that off. So you'll notice I can't tell the difference between warp and weft there, but with the imagery I can. That walks me through the general capability of the color palette. Done takes me back to whatever view I had been in.